students, this is Miss Michael here, and for today's experiment we are going to do sink or float. I have a clear container here with water, which is your main part of the experiment. And parents, if you don't know where to get a container like this one, I got it from my fridge. Okay, so you have somewhere to get it from, and we're going to get certain objects all around the house, and we're going to see which objects sink and which objects float in this water. So this is basically what you need. I'm going to show you the objects that I got. You do not need the same objects. You can get different ones. I'm going to try a pencil. I'm going to try a pen. I'm going to try a flower, which is not a real flower. This is a pretend flower. And I'm going to try a spoon and a paintbrush and a feather and some erasers. And as you can see, this one is wet because I have been trying this experiment. And the first thing that I would like for you guys to do is to get your scientific journals and start writing down a question. What is your question in this experiment? Will these objects sink or will they float? I want you guys to make predictions. What do you think that will happen? We're going to make a list with our predictions, listing all the objects, and we're going to write down, I think, for example, flower floats, because I think the flower will float. And this is going to be my prediction. Let me write it down here so that you guys can see it in a sheet. You're going to write down your predictions, and I'm going to write down flower, and you're going to do it for every single object that you're going to test. It's going to look like this. And then after you have done all these, you're going to start testing. You're going to start your experiment. So I'm going to create a table in the next page for my actual experiment, and I'm going to write down, just like here, sink on one side and float on the other side. And I'm going to write down on my paper, on my table, which object sinks and which object floats. So I'm going to start with my flower, and my flower sinks. I would like for you guys to see it. And I wonder if this is because it's not a real flower. I'm going to have to make a note to that. So I'm going to write down here, flower. My flower sinks. So it's going to be in my sink list. And then you want to try every object that you have gathered. I'm going to try the spoon. And my spoon sinks. So I'm going to write down spoon. And then I'm going to try a feather. And make sure that you make your predictions as you do this. What do you think will happen with this feather? Do you think that it's going to sink, or do you think that it's going to float? I think it's going to float. I think this is going to be our first floater. And there you go. The feather is floating. So I'm going to write it down in my float list. And it's going to look like this. Just make sure you get every object down so that you can compare it with your predictions that you made earlier. And then I'm going to try 2 leaves. And I'm going to make a prediction. I could be right, I could be wrong. I think these are 2 leaves from my garden. And I think this one is going to sink, and I think this one is going to float. But I don't know. I'm trying it out, you know. So I'm going to put this one first. And it's floating. And then this one is also floating. So both of them float. This is why it's important to make predictions. I'm not sure you can see the aloe, but it's right there. because both of them float. So I'm going to write here, leaves. And I want to show you guys what I wrote. Okay, I'm going to take my leaves out. And I'm so glad I tested my prediction, because if not, I wouldn't have known. So that is why it's important to do scientific experiments. I'm going to try the pencil. And the pencil floats, as you can see. So I'm going to write it down here. And then I'm going to try a paintbrush. And then a smaller paintbrush. And look at that. Both of them float. So like I said, you don't have to use the same objects that I'm using. You can use your own. And make sure that you record paint brush. Make sure that you record your findings in your scientific journals. Make sure you make a note of your results. Make sure you compare your results with your predictions. And make sure you write down your observations and report your results. I would like for you to make a little video like you have been doing. Those are super cute and I encourage them. And I would like to see what your findings were. And you can also send me a picture of your scientific journal. I hope you guys have fun with this. This is a really good experiment. And I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. See you next time.